On the quiet morning of April 16, 2014, the ferry MV Sewol set sail from Incheon, South Korea, headed toward Jeju Island. On board were 476 people, students, teachers, families, and crew. Among them, 325 were excited high school students from Danwon High School, on what was supposed to be a joyful school trip. But within hours, the journey turned into one of the deadliest disasters in South Korea's history.
As the ferry approached the narrow and fast-moving Mangol Channel, a sudden turn destabilized the vessel. The Sewol began to list sharply to one side. Its cargo had been improperly loaded, over 3 times the safe limit, and was not secured properly. The ballast water, meant to keep the ferry balanced, had been emptied to make room for more cargo. The ferry continued to tip, slowly but steadily, until it began to sink.
Through the ship's intercom, passengers were told to remain where they were, to stay calm. The students obeyed. They stayed in their cabins, waiting for further instructions. But those instructions never came. The crew hesitated. The captain delayed evacuation orders. Precious time slipped away. Outside, water was rising fast.
The ferry began to roll completely on its side. Some students frantically called their parents, whispering fears through their phones, "Mom, I think this is the end." Others recorded videos, laughing nervously, unaware that the ship was dying beneath them. At 8:52 a.m., the first distress call was made. Rescue boats and helicopters arrived, but for many, it was already too late. In total, 304 lives were lost. Most of them were teenagers. Only 172 people survived.
The entire country plunged into mourning. The tragedy shook South Korea to its core. Images of grieving parents and empty classrooms flooded the news. Candlelight vigils stretched across cities. Questions exploded: how could this happen? As investigations unfolded, the truth emerged, and it was devastating.
The Sewol had been illegally modified to carry more cargo. Safety inspections were falsified. The crew lacked proper emergency training. The captain was one of the first to abandon ship, while hundreds remained trapped inside. The response was slow. The rescue was chaotic. Warnings had been ignored. The disaster wasn't just an accident. It was the result of greed, negligence, and failure at every level.
Anger boiled across the nation. Protests erupted, demanding justice. Families of the victims called for accountability, not just for the crew, but for the system that allowed such a tragedy to happen. The captain and several crew members were arrested and sentenced. Government officials resigned. But for the families, no sentence could bring back what was lost.
Nearly 3 years later, the wreck of the Sewol was finally raised from the sea. Rusted, broken, but still hauntingly intact. It was a symbol of the lives lost and the responsibility the nation carried. Inside the ship, some remains were still found. The sea had kept their secrets until the very end.
Today, South Korea remembers the Sewol with sorrow and solemnity. Yellow ribbons are worn as a symbol of remembrance and hope. Memorials stand in parks, on bridges, and in the hearts of those left behind. The story of the Sewol is more than a maritime disaster, It is a story of lost youth, of national reckoning, and of a call to protect the innocent. May we never forget what happened that day. And may such a tragedy never be allowed to happen again.